This one's on your July 2017 digital marketing assignment, task 2, and the format is a briefing paper. You're writing to your marketing manager with an objective to increase your budgets for your digital marketing activities. Now, the examiner has broken the task down to 3 areas, but the flow has to be clear. At the start of this task, you will need to understand and clearly convince the marketing manager about the benefits of digital marketing. Secondly, you will highlight the changing consumer behavior in the area of digital marketing. And the final part is how do you make money. So it's important that your structure of your briefing paper captures this with a clear flow. Now, when it's a briefing paper, it's important, it has to be brief. It has to be fairly structured with no repetitive material, to the point. You can use some bullet points. So it's important you go online and look at some guidance on how a good briefing paper is done. Because if that format is wrong, the whole communication of your task 2 to the examiner is going to fail. So let's take your first one, which is about the benefits of digital marketing. Now, all of you are aware of multiple benefits of digital marketing. In the assignment itself, the examiner has given you some hints. The fact that you're going to be available 24/7, the fact that you can sell online, the fact that you could reduce the cost of your operations using digital marketing. So it's very important that you highlight some of the key benefits of digital marketing using your theory knowledge from the correct sources, the right books, maybe Dave Sheffy, B.R. Smith, Calvin Jones, etc. But very briefly. And then it's important that you select 2 benefits that you plan to talk about. To add to the insight of the work you do, you can always cite an example of somebody who has benefited by using digital marketing, using a benchmark case study example. For example, 24/7 marketing is possible through digital marketing. Do you have an example of a company who's really used digital marketing and has achieved around the clock sales volumes by going and being present 24/7? And how could that benefit apply to your company? For example, a local company, a hotel chain, has only a static website, but they don't do 24/7 content. Clearly, when they are communicating during working hours of a Sri Lankan market, clearly the Russian market or the Australian market or the US market is sleeping at one point or the other. So the fact that your content has to be real time, your content has to be timely, your key markets of tourists are going to be sleeping. So how can you bring a valid example how the benefit of 24/7 relates to your company? And when you talk about what's happening in your company, it's important to give the right sources from where you're getting this information from. Now, the second part of the assignment is about consumer behavior. Not just the traditional, but the digital, on the digital side. So, assume you're going to talk about zero moment of truth, or maybe multi-screen involvement. You got to highlight how that is changing the way consumers behave in your market and how that is going to impact the way the consumers are going to make decisions with regard to your business. How would a consumer today get engaged with regard to what a bank has to offer? Is it through the office laptop, which then converts into a smartphone, and then they are back onto a personal laptop if they're working on an assignment like you guys are doing? So multi-screen involvement in decision making is going to be relevant to most companies, but how do you show it in the way it affects your company? So real examples, real insights, supported through sources of evidence is important. The final part is about making money online, the revenue generation. You've studied more than 7 to 8 areas of how you could make money online. So again, theoretically showing what are the money-making opportunities online has to be covered by you. And then you might want to talk about 2 to 3 revenue generation options. So So for an example, if you talk about online ads, you're going to talk about how your company could use that revenue source where you allow online advertising on your platforms where you could create a significant amount of revenue. Now when you talk about this, you got to see, is there anyone that you know using case study who actually makes a fair amount of revenue online? Show the example, give the reference, and show how your company can do the same. If a company is making infomediation, is there an example of that for you? Is there an opportunity for you to do infomediation? Example, Strategy College of Business will have a fair amount of information captured digitally on our students, your education qualification, what stage are you in your career, your results. We even have how much of effort you put. Your attendance also is an indication of your discipline. How many of you are online engaged? If we have that type of information. So if you have such info, how do you infomediate that and benefit by allowing some other brands to use that info for their benefit? Of course, we have to be ethical in the way we share that info. By the way, we don't do that as strategy at the moment. But how do you make a revenue stream out of that? So that's your final recommendation on revenue generation. So this is a very structured briefing paper which has 3 components. In summary, you got to first convince your marketing manager of the benefits. Secondly, you need to also convince him about the online consumer behavior, creating an opportunity and probably a threat so the marketing manager is excited. Finally, you got to appreciate the revenue opportunity, and when you conclude this task, show how that revenue opportunity can help you justify the budgets that you have been currently using for digital marketing. So an indication of the current budgets and your case to increase those budgets by X percentage in certain aspects of your recommendation could be justified on the new revenue opportunities that you are showing with regard to the revenue generation. So yes, there is an involvement of budgets and the increase of budgets to be also brought in probably at the end of this task.